Okay, so that just ended right in the middle of what I was doing. Sorry about that. I finally muted it, which is great. I now have to edit this, which kind of sucks. Because I wanted to keep the podcast non-edited. But it is what it is, I guess. Anyhow, Riser Miata has an Evo 1 with an Evo 3 body kit, and it's in white, and he's got these super, super cool 16-inch Buddy Club wheels. I don't hate the Buddy Club wheels, they're just not the wheels for me on the Evo. I would love to rock Buddy Clubs on a Civic. I think Buddy Clubs on a Miata has a ton of potential too. Buddy Clubs are just, in my opinion, not the wheels for the Evo. And of course, the internet is going to have their suggestion of, well, you could run, biscuits. What's the name of that wheel? Biscuits. By the way, if you're watching this, let me know what you guys think about me possibly doing a shirt with a broken connecting rod and piston that says, "Oh, biscuits." I think it'd be sick. Anyway, back on the subject. God, what are those wheels called? It's gonna bother me, and I can't search it up right now because I'm recording, and it won't let me do that without shutting down my recording. That's really gonna bother me. I know what the name of that wheel is, and I cannot for the life of me pull it from the depths of my brain today. Either way, Tommy FES got him on his FD. Riser Miata just sold his to Jack Cecil from Horsepower Logic for Jack's FD. I know that they're Evos. That's their... I don't know, I guess that's what's... It's like a special variant of this wheel. I don't know a whole lot about it, and supposedly they look really good on the Evos. I'm not a huge fan of the wheel. I think there's certain vehicles that they would look stellar on, but that just doesn't fit in the category of absolutely fucking heinous, which I would love to have. I do feel like a side note needs to be made here that I don't use the term heinous necessarily correctly. You know, as I was growing up, the terms, you know, sick, badass, dope, nasty, bad. You know, me and my cousin for a little while said ribs throat. Like, generally considered bad things at one point in time were considered, or were used in a manner of, like, oh, that's really cool. And that's kind of what I've done with the word heinous over the last couple years. Like, oh, that's heinous. Like, I don't mean it in a bad way. Haha, Tommy F, yeah, you're put on the spot. Anyway. Riser Miata, too. You've started doing it pretty bad as well. But, sometimes I do still use it in referring to something in, like, oh my god, that's awful kind of way. But I don't know, man, just something over the last couple years I've decided that heinous was like the perfect word to sub in, because like people, you say it and people literally look at you like, what the fuck did you just say? Ah, F-bomb. I guess it's a good thing I gotta edit this anyway. I probably said it a lot in this video. I'm gonna have to get better about that. I've not edited out of the last couple videos, so guess we're gonna go ahead and throw this one up without editing it out as well, and I'm just gonna try and get better about it. Back on the subject of wheels. I feel like I had it for a second and I lost it. Rega Masters. Or Regas. Rega Master. I think it's a Rega Master. Rega Master Evos. Or Regas. Evo Regas. Or Regas Evo whatever. Regas are cool. I don't feel like it's the wheel for the Evo. Then you get into stancy stuff like Blitz wheels or the SXXs. You know, you can get into like the Beamer / Subaru Civic world, and you can do BBSs or... And at the end of the day, like, I really don't know what wheel combo that I would want on an Evo, and that's very frustrating for me because, like, there's a ton of vehicle builds that I want to do, and I can picture in my mind, and I can't see what wheels that I want on my Evo, which is, it's absolutely bewildering to me. You know, a really nice Civic. I would love to have Meister, I think S1s is what it is, by work. 3-piece wheels, the 5-spoke face, obviously. I think that's what makes it the S1. I really don't know. I know it's a Meister. Past that, I've really not looked into it because I didn't really need to. Because I was just like, that's the wheel. That right there, that case, that 3-piece, like, Meisters are sick. At the end of the day, I really don't know. I would like something kind of flashy on the Evo just because, like, to me, the Evo would be a super flashy car, but, like, also it would be daily driven, so, like, a specifically track-oriented set of wheels, like a set of RPF 1s or something, I just feel like would take away from the car. Like, it would serve a purpose, but because I want to daily drive it, like, I would love for the car to, like, just look super, super clean. And I love VSXXs because of that super clean look. And that super kind of flashy, like, look at me, I'm sick, kind of daily driven, but I'm still a badass. There we go with that dirty language again. What am I doing? I don't know, man. One of these days, I'll decide on what wheels that I want on an Evo, and maybe I'll just throw it in a random podcast somewhere. I'll throw it in a random video. Color is what makes us delve down this tangent of specifics. I hate yellow cars. I hate yellow cars. But it's kind of one of those, like, not going a factory color with an Evo would depreciate the value even more so than, like, just repainting it. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be looking to resell. Like, if I built an Evo, it would be to keep and maybe eventually pass on to my kids. So maybe down the line, if they needed to sell it one day, the value would still be astronomical enough, especially with the cost of imports going way up and continuing to go way up. That the devalue of painting, especially with the cost of imports going up, would not be noticeable, 10, 15 years down the road. this is kind of where it makes a difficult decision to me, because I like some pretty off-the-wall colors. You know, I love midnight purple. I love lime green, and I mean not just lime green, like that punch you in the face, like just insanely bright lime green. Interesting fact, burnt orange, I hate the color. Except under rare certain conditions. I seen one the other day. It was a 2000 Jeep Cherokee Sport in burnt orange that I don't think came out from the factory. I could be horribly wrong. But like I said, I hate I hate burnt orange, but there was just something about that Jeep that screamed, oh my god, I'm in love with it. I love certain shades of teal. I couldn't teal paint an Evo. I couldn't baby blue paint an Evo. Like, I just feel like it's wrong. That traffic on the way to Nashville, though. Anyway. Like, I just couldn't throw teal on an Evo. Like, I really think that it would have to be, like, yellow, because I could, now, mind you, I just said that I hate yellow cars, but I don't know, like, there's just something about a yellow Evo. I couldn't midnight purple an Evo, I couldn't lime green an Evo, like, I just feel like the colors are wrong. I couldn't Millennium Jade an Evo. I do kind of could see a Bayside Blue on an Evo, though. That sounds like it'd be sick. Like, I can see it, like, I think it'd look pretty awesome. Other than, like, if you were to go with the Tommy Machina Red from the Evo 6, like, I really don't see a Brandywine or a Midnight Red. I think silver Evos just look boring. Like, it looks like you're trying to blend the car in too much. Which is, like, a super no-go for me. Like, if I want an Evo, I want you to see it and be like, oh my god, that's an Evo. Like, that motherfucker. Yeah, man, I have got to get better about this language. That's gonna drive me nuts. Look, I've noticed it more so now, and like it's literally like pounding in my head, like, stop. But I feel that way about the white too. Like, I feel like white Evos look so good, but I feel like it also blands them. Bayside Blue is such a pretty color. I just don't know, like, I can see it, I just don't know that it has a spot on an Evo. So as far like as a standout Evo that's not Tommy Machina Red, I almost feel like it would have to be yellow. And I hate yellow cars, so, like, you know how frustrating it is to say that? Man, I really can't come up with a good color for an Evo other than that yellow, which is absolutely baffling. Well, I guess that's it. It would have to be an Evo 2 GSR with Evo 3 body kit, wheels that I have no idea, and yellow. And that would be my daily driving / track monster Evo. And I wouldn't want insane horsepower out of it either. Like, I feel like a 300 wheel horsepower Evo would be perfect to daily drive and do, like, ridiculous things with. still have a reliable, fun car. Like, I just, you know, my GTR, I'd want like 500 wheel. I've done some research into the Z32, which is like dream daily driver chassis. Because I love the Z32 in ways that I can't explain. Like a 350Z would be a cool daily driver chassis, but I think I would beat the brakes off of the 350Z so much more than a Z32. For those of you that don't know, the Z32 is the predecessor to the 350Z. It's a Z33, and the 370Z is a Z34. I couldn't LS swap a Z32 though. Shout out to Jimmy Oaks. The man did an outstanding job. I couldn't do it personally. I'm not a VG30 fan though. So Jimmy Oaks is actually the one that led me on to this swap, which apparently had been done before he did it. He was just the first one for me to see it. I would want an SR20 swap Z32. Making probably, I don't know, I feel like somewhere between 300 350 wheel would be great. Not too rough on the stock transmission, but plenty of reliable power to hurt some stock car feelings. And I mean, it would be borderline stance, because, I mean, it wouldn't be too low because, you know, daily driver stance doesn't work, but I'm a low boy. Like, low boy. If I could, everything that I'd own would sit that high off the ground. But I live in Missouri, I've lived in Arkansas, I've traveled to Tennessee, and like the road quality across the board in this area is so poor that that low is just not practical, even slightly. You know, you could get like a ton of like super stiff spring, but statically, that low is just not possible. Air ride, you could go that low and have some practicality, because while you're out on the highway, you can lift it a little higher. But static height, like that wouldn't work. So it would be kind of stancy, but still enough that it was functional. I don't think I'd have anything more than maybe 7 degrees of camber. Negative camber. 7 degrees positive camber. Everybody would make fun of the car like nobody's business. I mean, they're still going to make fun of the car like nobody's business anyway, because stand boy. Yeah, no, I just feel like an SR20 saw Z32. And here's where I'm torn, because I really don't know how I would do it. Because you have the 2+2 option and you have the 2+0 option, Z32s. And I have children, so you would think that I would want the 2+2, or that because I have children, I'd want the 2+0, so I could be like, no, you can't get in my car. But my kids are a huge part of my life. So at the end of the day, I really think that I really would want the 2+2 option. I mean, the 2+0 is super clean. But that's one of the things about an FD, too. I would love to have an FD, just to have an FD. Like, I love FDs. I'm, however, not rotary literate, even slightly. So that would be something that would have to be learned and worked on if I were to own an FD3 RS. I forgot how I got on this topic, because I know I was on Z32s and I went to FDs. Jesus, that chain link idea though, or that chain link mentality though, like, it works. I'm 20 minutes into this clip, and I think I had 15 in the last clip. So, I really, I don't remember how I got here. Oh, the 2+2 and the 2+0. If I bought an FD, it would have to have, even if I bought the USDM left-hand drive FD, I would go out of my way to find the JDM 2+2 option to put in the FD. Now there is no room in a 2+2 FD, but that being said, you know, I have kids, so I don't need massive amounts of room in the FD. I just need enough that I could, if I wanted to, take the kids in the FD, and that's my reason for doing the 2+2 Z32. Not only that, I feel like the interior is a little easier to keep clean in a 2+2 than a 2+0, because for some reason plastic panels love to attract dust, and like to have to get in there every couple of days and wipe every one of the plastic panels would suck. Like once a month, get in and wipe the two side panels, vacuum out the seats, you know, once a week. Like I feel like that is a really obtainable, is a lot easier, especially like when vacuums are super easy to do, like bust through real fast. You know, hatch mod, trunk mod, whatever you want to call it, I'd want to run a hardwood like Timio's in the LSZ and the SRZ. The hardwood trunk mod, I feel like is a necessary mod, just because, I mean, cleaning carpet, ton of stains, and it adds like a ton of style. So now we're on to what would I do with the Z. Man, Z32, it black or red. I mean, and I honestly probably, I think I'd want a red Z32, which I'm not a huge red guy, but here's where it gets weird. I couldn't keep it stock red though. If I got a Z32 in red, it would eventually go brandy wine, or midnight red, or a dark burgundy. Actually, I think, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think I would have to paint it this custom color somewhere in the maroon range. Because of a joke that I made a couple years back. And if you guys know, then you know. But, this weird custom color in between maroon and kind of a darker, like borderline brown color, I had given the nickname Mahogany. And I think just for meme purposes, I would have to paint the Z Mahogany. And I don't even have an actual color for the name Mahogany. It's just, like, I was like, oh my god, that's like somewhere between maroon and mahogany. It's Mahogany. So anyway, that would be the color the Z would be. I would love to, when I got, man, I am going on and on and on. We're going to finish this up and we're going to cut this foot and we're going to be done. Anyway, I would love to do a VE head, you know, to get the variable valve timing and, you know, push out a little better mileage, a little more performance. But it's kind of one of those, like, that particular mod would be something that, like, I'd have to own it for a little bit before I could make that decision, and, like, I'd have to own it and drive it to swap, and, you know, where I wanted it before I could make that decision, because I've got it set up in my mind, like, where I want it at, but then, like, past that, because I've never felt it, I don't know if it needs anything else. And, you know, watching Jimmy Oaks' SRZ, you know, I kind of get a feel for it, but I really just, I don't know. Mahogany, Borderline Stance Boy, SR Swap. And I don't know, some wheels. Like, wheels are a tough thing for me. I have to see them on the car to be like, oh yeah, or oh no, and I honestly wish like we could bulk TE37 in the world, but an authentic good set of bulk TE37s, especially if you want the OG bronze, are incredibly expensive. You know what? I take it back. I do know what wheels that I would run on the C32. I would have to get me a set of Nismo LMGT1s or LMGT2s. Really not a huge difference between the two. And I would have to run the polished lip, a black face with zinc plated hardware. That I feel like that would consolidate that car completely. I have rambled on long enough for this video. Like this podcast has gone on and 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 on. So with that, I'm gonna end this video. If you guys have any comments on anything in this video, anything at all, leave it in the comments section down below. Give the podcast a like. Subscribe if you guys want to keep up with future podcasts. I'm going to try and do one once a week. That's easier said than done, especially considering, you know, I'm bouncing around the Build Theory project. I'm bouncing around the podcast with my buddy project. I've recently started walking. In a video, guys, that you guys are going to see really soon, I'm bouncing around a bike project that I'm going to start. I'm possibly I'm going to be buying another bike for a daily ride. That's going to have some things done to it. I'm getting ready to switch from nights to days, which completely blows my schedule out of proportion. But it may make it easier to keep up with content on Instagram and YouTube both. My secondary podcast, though, may actually suffer from this, and my walking. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try and balance everything out the best that I can. But I really have no idea how it's going to turn out. So, like I said, if you like this video, or like this podcast, I mean, really, you don't even have to watch me talk or anything, because it's what it is. It's a podcast. It's the whole point. Give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to subscribe for more, subscribe for more. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you haven't checked out the first podcast, kind of boring, but it's there. I talk about some random stuff, so go check that out. And I should have another video, maybe Wednesday, I think will be when the new video's out. I don't know, man, my schedule is absolutely insane. And we are gonna try to finish the research for Build Theory the first episode of Build Theory next week, so that I can finally post, and I can finally build the first Build Theory video. I've got a ton of research into it, and I actually think I have 1 or 2 clips already filmed for that. And I have a couple pictures already ready for that video to come together. So look forward to that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. And stolen from Samit. Chamata. What's going on, guys? Man. Here we are, podcast number 2. So, kind of taking advantage of the fact that I'm doing a lot of driving today to do this new podcast. I actually was inspired by Adam LZ's video from a couple days ago showing off the indie rap on the TME. I thought it'd be a cool topic to talk about, just because, like, I'm a super, super big Skyline fan. Always have been, always will be. I love Skylines. Like, dream car is a Skyline. However, something to daily and have a ton of fun with, but still be able to, like, occasionally track and, like, just super, super enjoy would be an Evo, in my opinion. Now, of course, this brings in the question, what Evo? Oh, man, it really is a complicated question at that point. And I feel like it should be for everybody, because I mean, I love Evos. But up until, like, the Evo 4, really, you were battling more for aesthetics than anything. Because, like, there were little increases, little things that were better from Evo to Evo. But, the first three Evos, there just wasn't a whole lot of differences other than aesthetics. Of course, then you get
Welcome to Tennessee.
Well, thank you, GPS. Probably should have muted that. Anyway, as you guys know, I'm driving to Tennessee. I'm driving all the way to Nashville. Great drive. Not really, but we'll pretend. Anyway, that really begs the question, like, what Evo would I get? Because, you know, I think the 7, or maybe the 8, I don't remember exactly, was the first Evos that were offered stateside. I mean, we had Lancers since, like, 02. But, you know, if you're a true car guy, you know that a Lancer is not the same thing as an Evo. Even though there's probably the most common annoyance that you see across the internet is, or even in day in, day out life. You know, I've had a lot of friends, and even my own misinterpreted knowledge at one point, where I'd see a Lancer like, oh my god, that's an Evo! But it's not. If you don't know the difference, Lancers are basically designed similar into an Evo, except not at all. Lancers are front-wheel drive. I'm not sure that any of the Lancers ever had, like, a turbo option or an all-wheel drive. But, I mean, with an Evo, like, I mean, that was it. You were guaranteed turbo all-wheel drive. I'm not sure that there were any automatic Evos. I've not looked into it that much to know that, honestly. I know with the older Evos, you won't, I mean, 4G63, but, like, that's really all I got. And 5-speed. It's kind of like Subarus. I've never really, like, dived into it super far enough that, like, I was like, oh my god, this is how I would build it, this is what I would do. Except for the Evo 6.5. And I didn't even really dive into it. It's just one of those, like, the Evo 6.5 is the Evo 6 Tommy Machina edition, which is what TME stands for. And if you don't want a Tommy Machina edition, like, you're sleeping. A Tommy Machina edition is like a super rare Evo. They're super cool. And I really don't even necessarily remember what the variances were, other than the fact that it is like the coolest Evo variant out there. And then, of course, like with Adam's new Evo is a Tommy Machina edition, and it's an RS. Now the thing about the RS is, traditionally from factory, an RS came with no air conditioning, no radio, manual windows. I think the Evos did come with an automatic, now that I'm thinking about it, because the RS I know was guaranteed 5-speed. So to have that essentially lighter chassis because it has none of the extra bits on a stock Evo made it slightly better from the get-go. And I think there's a tuning variant as well with the TME. I'm not certain. I should probably do a little more research into it, especially now that I'm making the podcast claiming that I want a Tommy Macman Edition Evo, and I really don't know all the aesthetics of it. But back to the original question that I brought up is, what Evo would you choose? At the end of the day, I really think that I would love to have an Evo 2 GSR with a complete Evo 3 body kit. I mean, from top to bottom. And then there comes color. White Evos are amazing. Like, white Evos just look pretty. Adam LZ's TME with the red and the decals. That TME is freaking beautiful. And it's a wrap, it's not painted, it's obviously not the original red with graphics TME, but it looks like it. So, and it is a TME RS. But at the color option, I'm kind of at a pondered state. Because, you know, you're left with the question, do you leave it original? One of the big things for me is, like, especially like with an Evo or something, an Evo, a Skyline, you know, Z32. I mean, probably less a Z32. Like, I'm not sure that repainting a Z32 hurts the value so much. But with Skylines and Evos, it can actually potentially hurt the market value a lot to repaint them. And, you know, it's kind of one of those, like, if I had an Evo and I had a Skyline, I keep saying Skyline, but let's be honest, if I got a 4-door, I would either repaint it or wrap it, no questions asked. If I got a GTST, I would probably GTR clone it and do a drift build. But again, I probably wouldn't care to repaint it. Now a GTR. Here's where this gets complicated. My GTR would in fact be repainted. And that's because my GTR that I've settled in my head that I want is an R32 Skyline GTR. Because honestly, I want an R34 V-Spec 2 NER in Millennium Jade. However, I'm a broke boy, and I've watched V-Spec 2 NERs with sub 100,000 miles go, I mean, absolutely insane. Especially the one that with a few of the particular mods that I would like, including but not limited to Volk Racing TE37s and Bronze. The Bronze with the Millennium Jade, like, it's just a wonderfully tied combo, and it's a sick GTR. But I've seen him go into the 200,000 plus range, and this broke boy's not gonna pull that off. Not for a long time. But so at that point, I would want my R32 to be Millennium Jade, using the N1 front bumper. I couldn't wide body it. Now, if I had a GTST and I GTR cloned it, I would probably go wide body, just because of the fact that, like, the car itself does not have the wide body that the GTR does. And obviously, you know, fitment and, like, grip, especially with it being a rear-wheel drive, to kind of do a drift setup, I'd want to go wide body. But with a GTR, like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't go Pandem or anything like that. I would want the standard GTR wing with the Nismo N1 little trunk spoiler that goes inside the stock spoiler. N1 front bumper, Nismo side skirts, Nismo spats. And we're back to one of my favorite mods again, the Volts Racing TE37s. Man, that's just, like, it's a phenomenal wheel. And again, Millennium Jade, and I would have to do bronze TEs. Like, that's, to me, that car is, like, the GTR just belongs to Millennium Jade with bronze TEs, in my opinion. Midnight Purple's a pretty color, Bayside Blue is a pretty color. All of the Midnight Purples, let me be specific about that. All of the Midnight Purples are beautiful, beautiful colors. But at the end of the day, Millennium Jade is just my favorite. You know, Active Red's pretty cool. It's definitely not one of my favorite colors, just because, like, I'm not a huge red guy. But the Active Red is pretty cool. I'm trying to think of other GTR colors, but honestly, like, this just proves my point. Like, I am a Millennium Jade diehard. The weird greenish, brownish Autech color on the R32 Autech 4-door is a pretty color, and I've entertained the idea that if I was going to do the R32 instead of doing the Millennium Jade, because it did not come on the R32, doing the Autech color, I cannot for the life of me think of the actual name of that color. It's kind of frustrating, actually. But Millennium Jade is just I've completely gotten off topic, which is kind of the reason I wanted to do these podcasts, is because, like, I chain link bounce, like, bad. I chain link bounce, and I can end up in complete left field, which is cool. Like, I personally enjoy doing it. I'm kind of hoping that you guys as internet viewers enjoy it, because, like, it goes all over the place. Now, some people that I work with, people that I associate with, kind of get frustrated with it, but I'm actually trying to put together a podcast, a separate podcast with another friend of mine, and
in 2 miles, take the US 51 South, US 412 East exit toward Dyersburg, Jackson.
Thank you again, Google Maps. Anyway, me and him bounce off of each other really, really, really well, in part because he can talk about anything. And, like, we have really good conversations together, and I bounce all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. Which, like I said, it makes really great conversations. So we think a podcast with the two of us is going to be absolutely insane. So try to keep a lookout for that in the future. It'll be cool. But back to my original question. Here we are again. I've told you guys what Evo I would want an Evo 2 GSR. I would want the Evo 3 body kit. Now, wheels. Wheels is a big, big thing for me, because there's not a whole lot that, wheel-wise, that I'm super, super into. Raksha Miata's got
in half a mile, take the US 51 South, US 412 East exit toward Dyersburg, Jackson.
Man, it's actually getting really frustrating to be interrupted by that, because, like, I can clearly see it, and I know where I need to turn. So, like I said, kind of frustrating. Anyway.
Take the US 51 South exit, then continue on to US 412 East.
Okay, really, at this point, like, we're gonna get on this road here. I'm gonna get up and close and in your guys' face for a minute.